No, you're all right.
Like, saying that, like, obviously we got it wrong as well, like massively wrong, and like we weren't there, 100%, and we shouldn't have accepted the contract because we weren't able to fulfill the order, and like and I think there was like a massive naivety in that regard, and it was one of those ones you go like, God, we can't say no to this, but actually you definitely should.
Yeah, it's mad, mate.
And it's, you know, like I was on Talk Sport, man. Like, I was on Talk Sport. I was like, got a phone call at 8 a.m. on the first game of the season. Watford were in the Prem, and it was like playing Villa first game. It was like we were in the back of the Guardian. It was like too good, too bad. And it was like Watford's like obviously predicted to go down this season. But the good thing is they got Willy Spice.
Which they did.
And then we were like, Jesus Christ, the expectations through the roof. And then obviously you sort of like, first of all, the product it was fresh pastry. So what we expected was in each kiosk was them to cook the pies. And obviously the average age of the people in the kiosk were about 17 and a half, you know what I mean? And it was like, and then I was like tearing around the stadium, Vicarage Road, and I was like, Jesus, stick them back in the oven. And I was like, that's burnt to shit. And then obviously, so there was like this really, it was just horrendous. And then we went, week in, week out, and we'd have this meeting with these like head honchos, and then just be like, I promise we'll get it right next week.
Yeah.
And then we just didn't get it right.
We didn't even.
So what's there's the they just basically weren't cooking them.
They were cooking them, but
it wasn't like but it was just not.
They were trying to fit like 200 in an oven with no gaps between the pies. There's no airflow, and then they're 17. You can't cook a piece of fucking toast.
Yeah.
Let alone like
hang on.
Yeah.
Well,
but also, I mean, like, we were using like, we had one of these was what we had, and that's a pie press, and we didn't even know how much filling was going to go into like the pie. So we accepted this contract, and we just started to figure out this machine, and then it was like, all right, sweet. So they were bursting everywhere, and then we were just like, okay, so it's actually got to be 120 grams.
We didn't have a premises at the time. We were sharing with someone. And so for the first, I think it was 2 or 3 games, we cooked the mix at the Watford Stadium, at Vicarage Road. And then the next day went back in. And
That's mad. That's mad.
I can't believe they let us do it. I honestly can't believe they let us do it.
But
I understand why, I can, as much as we can, vitriol and these are arseholes or whatever, but I can't understand why they got rid of us. We weren't. It's not like they tried to put like Walkers and Mars bars and we were going no.
Yeah.
In our kiosk.
So what's the like? Let's say it's like the Apprentice moment where you guys go to a cafe and you have your cup of tea and you're like, right, we're fucked now.
Actually, I'll go now.
Yeah. You're fired, mate. See you later. I'll fire myself. Yeah. I mean, so what do you say to yourself? Because I think in every kind of story, there's these bits happen, and I think what's so interesting, and we'll get onto this, is like now that kind of cauldron of failures and learnings has now set you up for success. Well, with what you're doing now, right? With the new, but yeah, what's that moment? Because you said lockdown demand goes off a cliff. You get this kind of safety net, if that's what it is. Safety net where the you get Watford, and then it kind of goes down again. You're like, so you're having a cup of tea or a pint, like what you say to each other. It's your fault.
Well, no, but like, in all seriousness, we lost the contract, right? And then it was like, okay, we put all of our eggs in one basket, and me and Josh were outside the front of it. This arch was going to be a shared space. We were going to share it with another company.
Right. And
so we were paying X amount on rent, and we had no money coming in. We'd lost the main contract. And so we obviously were selling to stores. I don't think
we weren't.
No, sorry. Yeah. So then we were like, right, we've got to change our whole business idea. Business model moves within like literally a couple of hours. And it was like, well, we've got to sell to stores. We've got to start selling locally.
Yeah.
And it was weird because we were standing outside by those bins having a fag and a coffee, just like, this is it. Maybe I am going back to Brat. If they'll take me.
Yeah, that's exactly. This place, we signed a contract.
It's like only fools and all sorts.
Yeah,
Next time, Rodney, don't you worry, man. We're going to be sweet.
Right, this time next year, Rodney, we're going to be millionaires.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not next year.